Ron Johnson says he was taken out of context, but he's certainly under fire for comments about Senator John McCain's decisive no vote on health care. Here's a part of the discussion in question.
We did get a call from Paul, and he assured us that skinny repeal is not going to pass the House, and it would have to go to conference. Again, I'm not going to speak for John McCain. You know, he has a brain tumor right now. That vote occurred at 1:30 in the morning. Some of that might have factored in. I don't know exactly what we really thought that. And again, I don't want to speak for any senator. I really thought John was going to vote yes to send that to conference at 10:30 at night. By about 1:30, he voted no. So you have to talk to John in terms of what was on his mind.
Senator McCain's office responded, "It's bizarre, deeply unfortunate that Senator Johnson would question the judgment of a colleague and friend. Senator McCain has been very open and clear about his reasons for his vote." Communications Director for Senator John McCain sent that. Well, we have Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin with us now. He's the chairman of the Homeland Security Committee, also a businessman most of your adult life. We're going to spend a different segment on this show going through the schematics you've put together, charts to show people what has to be done on health care. But I know you want to clear this up. You are known as a gentleman in the Senate. What did you mean about John McCain? Listen, what did you not mean?
First of all, I have the deepest respect for John McCain. And, you know, in no way was I trying to criticize him. If anything, I was trying to defend his position. A lot of us had a real problem with that skinny repeal, and we weren't going to vote for it until we got that assurance from Paul. So, listen, I was trying to defend his position and truthfully just express my sympathy for his health condition. So, again, I've reached out to John. I'm hoping to talk to him today. I just have the greatest respect for John McCain.
And to be clear, do you believe, despite the fight that McCain's going to fight in a way none of us could, do you believe that he's on his game? Do you believe that his cancer should be an issue?
No, absolutely. I mean, we held a press conference, and that had, listen, I was just expressing sympathy for his condition. You know, at 1:30, you know, again, no, I've got the greatest respect for John McCain. He's not impaired in any way, shape, or form.
All right, that's done. Now, someone who says they want to own every bit of what they're saying is the President of the United States with the leader of the Senate, Mitch McConnell. He has tweeted again this morning. He's taken another shot at McConnell. He is frustrated, and he is putting the lack of health care on you guys. You have been swearing that you would repeal and replace it for all these years. McConnell says it's unreasonable expectations. The president disagrees and is saying he should have gotten this done. What do you make of the president calling out the majority leader?
We should have gotten this done. I mean, the ball was in our court.
Fair point, you're saying.
President Trump is at his desk with the pen ready to sign what Congress was going to send him, and we didn't. And I completely feel his frustration. I'm every bit as frustrated. The fact of the matter is the process isn't ending, though. Obamacare is a mess. That's not going away, and we have a responsibility to do everything we can to fix that mess.
Now, remember, Senator Johnson isn't just saying it out. It's not just hype. We've got these charts we're going to go over in another segment. But let's talk about the political play here. You go after McConnell as the President of the United States in public, on Twitter, whatever. People see it. You need him to motivate the agenda. Is this the right tactic, in your opinion?
I'll let this president speak for himself and his tactics. But, you know, the fact of the matter is we need to come up with the policies that reduce gross premiums. That's what we're going to be talking about. And we need to be courageous, and we need to be honest in terms of what the root cause analysis is. And that's in the lap of Congress, quite honestly. That's in the lap of the House and the Senate. And, you know, obviously we need as much help and support from the administration as well as we're doing this. But also when it comes to health care, governors. I've been working with Scott Walker and a group of governors that are working on the Lindsey Graham, Bill Cassidy proposal to block grant to the states. And rather than have a one-size-fits-all model that isn't working, particularly for those forgotten men and women that Bill Clinton was talking about, you know, busting it, working 60 hours a week, seeing their premiums double, the coverage cut in half, and they can't afford health care coverage. So we've got to address that root cause, and we've got to make sure that those men and women aren't forgotten.
So let's talk about something else that's on the table today. North Korea. The president's word, fire and fury, and then you heard something different from the Secretary of State seeming to kind of take the temperature down. This could be interpreted two ways. One is, this is good cop, bad cop. This is a 1-2 punch. The other one is, it's an inconsistent message. The president was freelancing again, and he caught his own White House off guard on something that really matters. Your take?
Well, first of all, I don't think the statements are inconsistent. What Secretary Tillerson is saying is North Korea yet, right at this point in time, cannot threaten America. But they're rapidly approaching that point where they could. For decades, on a bipartisan basis, presidents, members of Congress are saying it's unacceptable that North Korea has nuclear weapons or ballistic missile technology to deliver them. Well, they've got nuclear weapons now,
right?
And they are fast approaching the point where they have an intercontinental ballistic missile that can deliver it to America. Now, everybody was saying that was unacceptable. Diplomatic speak hasn't worked. You finally have a president who is saying, we're not going to put up with it. The end of patient strategy, strategic patience, is over. And I would advise North Korea, China, Russia, and anybody that has influence that supports North Korea to pay attention to what this president is saying. We are not going to allow North Korea to get in that position where they actually could threaten America.
Saying I will bring the fire and the fury, the likes of which the world has never seen, when you're talking about somebody who may very well have a nuclear arsenal, sounds to suggest like you're about to go to war. That's different than saying it's unacceptable, we're going to find ways to shut it down.
Well, listen, where there's an imminent threat or they launch something, what should we do? Let's say they launch at Guam. What would we expect the American president to do other than to bring down that fire and fury?
What are you willing? So you're willing to support military action against North Korea?
If they are threatening us and they start launching at our territories, what else are we going to do? Sit back and take it? No, that's why we have a military. Again, what we need to do is we need to pressure, because China has not responded to what pressure has been brought to bear in the past. They've got to rein in their client state. They've got to stop their testing of ballistic missiles. Hopefully, long term, we've got to ratchet that down. I think what President Trump is doing is sending a signal not only to North Korea, but also to the people around dear leader, as well as China and Russia. I think they have got to pay attention to this president. Look what he did with Syria. He didn't fool around. He responded immediately, and I think that hopefully made a real impression on the Chinese president.
All right, well, we'll see where the words leave us. And you will stay, please, Senator, and we're going to get much deeper into the case to the American people about what the senator believes you should do to fix Obamacare and change the system. So stay with us for that.